We had a very strong first quarter. And year to date, we're running at a record pace. And it's a combination of the core businesses that most of you would know continue to do well and grow. And some of the newer businesses we've been talking about the last few years start meaningfully adding to the performance as well. What we're seeing is as we continue to grow and do well, the market opportunity that's accessible for firms like ourselves also are growing at a rapid rate. So it's really been a race between how fast we can grow and seize on new opportunities that's coming our way versus the speed at which such opportunities are growing. And this time, it's not happening because of global pandemic or a war breaking out somewhere. This does feel like a new strong trend line that's more longer term on a go-forward basis.
Can we put something a little more concrete around record pace? For example, where the firm ended up in terms of revenue in 2023, and maybe where you ended up at the end of the first quarter?
I'm sure people will read about those numbers in exact numbers soon on Bloomberg.
Well, why should we make them wait?
Last year, we had a solid performance. I'm not going to report the exact numbers, but we had a solid performance. Was slightly down from the year before.
Okay.
This year, both the first quarter and the year to date are at historical highs. So if you take our prior quarterly and annual run rate numbers and add some growth on top of that, you're going to be in the right ballpark.
Let's talk about where the business is coming from. You made reference to the fact that some of the investments Citadel Securities has made into entering new markets are bearing fruit. What specifically?
From product expansion to markets expansion, right? Last year, we talked about our intention to enter the credit market. Since then, Q3, we started with trading investment-grade bonds systematically, algorithmically on electronic venues. We launched the voice part of that business in February of this year, and we are soon going to launch the portfolio trading aspect of that business. That's already putting us somewhere on the map with not only the market as a whole, but especially important with some the top 30 participants in the investment-grade market. High yield will come after that. And then in fixed income business overall, later this year, you will also see us expanding into European rates as well.
Right. So it's still principally, the fixed income business is still principally making markets and treasuries.
So we launched our fixed income business within the U.S. treasuries as well as dollar interest rate swap products. And that's significant not just because it's an expansion of the products we trade, but it was also a completely new way of transacting. While we may have been the largest liquidity provider for many people that's watching this, and we meet them on exchange or behind algorithms, this is the first time, that was the first time that we were directly transacting with many institutions. So over the years, we've built up our distribution and built our credibility, and we are often one of the top, if not the top, trusted liquidity provider for treasuries. And that has, in fact, been the #1 factor that pushed us into IG bond, because that IG bond was the #1 ask from many of the largest institutions.